What's good? What's good, everybody? It's your girl Elmo 172331 coming at you from the Select Screen channel. Now, I know this is a different time than we normally do, but we had to play a little bit of catch up because I haven't been streaming for just a little bit of time. So, what we're gonna do, or attempt to do, is have a double feature where we do a Paradise Watch Party. Oh, what's up? What's up? Hey, we already got LL on the ones and twos, and we got Browns on there, and we got the goat Joey. So I hope I didn't butcher your name, but yeah, today we are going to do like a double feature watch party because we got behind on Daredevil and Paradise, so we're playing a little bit catch up, but. I hope you guys enjoy this and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check us out on most avenues of social media. We're pretty much everywhere you want to be, everywhere you doom scroll throughout the day. Okay. Um, and so, yeah, we're not going to waste a lot of time. So let's get into it, y'all. Alrighty. So, how this works for our watch parties is that we don't show any content. Okay, don't show any content. No content warnings. Okay, but you can watch along with us while we're going through the episodes. So we're gonna start off with Paradise episode 3. We are doing great. It's a beautiful afternoon, and the sun is shining, and things are going great. Except Twitch is deciding to be mean. Hopefully, it's going good on your end. Let me know how Twitch is behaving. It could decide to throw a fit when we need it the most. Let's check it out. Let me know if Twitch is acting stupid. Hold tight for just a sec. But in the meantime, like I said, we're doing Paradise episode 3. No content shown, but you can watch along with us along the way. Um, we want your input, what you think about it, if you've seen the series so far, or if you're just hopping in with us just right now. Let me know. What do you think? But no spoilers, please, because we want live reactions. You know, we just want no spoilers. No spoilers. Again, no spoilers. There we go. There we go, Twitch. Twitch is never my friend, by the way. Never has been, but fingers crossed that it will be today. Okay, so for Paradise, what has been going on, just as a brief summary, is that the president named Kao, he was obviously in office and he was murdered. Oh my gosh, right? Ah! That's how the series started. And basically, his bodyguard, is the one that everybody's trying to figure out. Is he good? Is he bad? Is he, somewhere in between? Um, so his name is Xavier, okay? And what we recently found out was that select few folks are in like this city underground in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. And a lady named Sinatra, she's the one that's in charge of all this, um, because her son had a mysterious like illness that where he passed away, and so she made like this city to like protect from a huge natural disaster. Okay, and so Xavier and Cal were good friends for a while, but something happened between the two of them where they don't like, well, like Xavier didn't like him for a minute, and like I said, we don't know what's going on. But then there's a psychologist or like therapist that's trying to like figure out who's responsible for it, right? And she's like, "Well, are you happy that Cal died?" And it's like basically they coerced him into saying yes, that Cal, passed. Um, Another thing that's worth mentioning is that Xavier's son and daughter are with him, but his wife isn't. And so I have a hunch as to why that is, but again, still haven't been told why or why not that's going on. So I'll see if that's true later. Okay. Let's see. What else is of note? So Xavier's daughter, and the president's son, um, basically they were in this library while the public announcement went out that Cal he passed peacefully in his sleep, and most people would not, fall for that. So they replaced Cal with a new president, and that's about where we're at right now. So we'll see. Uh, hey, RL's back. He says, "Guess who's back? All those posters need to come down when I'm there for Doomsday. It's only fair." Nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. This all stays. Okay. Including me in this very place right here. This stays. I thought we talked about some kind of like hotel for you to stay in, right? Yeah, yeah. But anyways, so that's what we're kind of looking at right now. Um, Shout out to RL, by the way, because he suggested Paradise in the first place. So we're working through this. I believe there's 8 episodes, so we got like 5 more. I'll probably try and do 2 today, and then we'll go on to doing 2 for Daredevil later this evening, because your girl needs a break between all this show watching. Okay, so you guys will get timestamps as we go along. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay. Oh, also, there was one big hint that we should probably pay attention to. So, in a pack of cigarettes, there was a number on it. And so Xavier's trying to figure out what this number is for. Okay, so it's, what was it? We see 2092. The rest of the cigarette is being burned as we speak. Okay. Oh, and so Xavier always likes running different places. So that's kind of how we figured out that everybody was in a bubble, because Sinatra is trying to make like this isolated dome, pretty much, for everybody. An isolated dome. So there are other agents on the case too, of course. Oh, okay. So Billy is, I think he's considered his partner. And when the president was murdered, then Billy was kind of sleeping on the job, and the cameras went out, and they didn't report the president's death for 30 minutes because they wanted kind of to do their own investigation before the main crew came in. So it kind of looks a little bit suspicious on both of their parts, but they're trying to make it look like as normal as possible because, as far as we know, they didn't do anything. So Billy is kind of, he's a little haphazard in the way that he does things. Like, um, he just eats whatever he wants to. Whoops. He just sleeps where he wants to and all this kind of stuff. But he's Xavier's friend, so and um, like cop partner. Okay, so we're at timestamp 5:30, and so Xavier goes to see Dr. Tarabi, which um, she's kind of. It seems like she's helping him, and he's like, "Why did you tell me to say yes when they were doing a lie detector test um, to basically prove his innocence?" And so he's like, "Why did you tell me to say yes?" And I'm thinking because if he said no, then it would have come up as a lie um, on the lie detector test that he didn't have some kind of hard feelings towards Cal. Um, they were friends, um, and then all of a sudden, something happened. They weren't friends, and so there's got to be at least some resentment there, if not hatred. Okay, so this episode is called "The Architect of Social Well-Being." I forgot to mention that, but yeah, there's got to be some kind of resentment because if you're a true friend, you don't just drop off your friend for no reason. Oh, and Kawa and his wife are kind of having problems, and so um, one of the other investigators was kind of caught in like on the cameras with him. It's like, interesting, right? Why was she there? She shouldn't have been fraternizing with the president, right? Yeah. Elmo pro tip number 1: Sour Patch Bunnies. Pretty good. Not as good as original Sour Patch. Doesn't have all the flavors. Still good though. Pretty much all Sour Patch are good. Sour Patch. Pretty much. I haven't tried every last single flavor, but 10 out of 10 recommend. So timestamp 9:10. Xavier and Dr. Tarabi are kind of walking through this garden, and she's like, it took 3 years for this place to feel like home. They recorded a whole bunch of insect sounds. So to me, that means that there are no insects inside the dome. So they probably had to like genetically engineer plants, but it's good that there's no bugs. Although people would have an argument to say that bugs are vital to nature and all that stuff. I still don't like bugs. So we found out Xavier doesn't have the greatest relationship with his dad. But it looks like they had a good starting relationship. Oh, and I think the whole reason why Xavier liked planes and things is because of his dad. When the president's son and his daughter went into that library that I told you guys about, when they saw all these different planes. So, 11:50, Xavier's telling his dad that he's going to be a grandfather. His wife is pregnant. His dad's really emotional about it. Oh, so they're talking about how they named their children. Tarabi's trying to get Xavier to trust him. Or Dr. Tarabi is trying to get Xavier to trust her. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Uh oh. Whoa. So that was creepy. So timestamp 1349. So Agent Robinson, the one who is going up against Xavier, pretty much she just had like a almost like a not a nightmare, but um, she was standing there looking at herself in the mirror, and then all of a sudden, Kyle comes up to her, and they're fraternizing. Oh, is what I'll, and so all of a sudden, blood is coming down from the ceiling. That was really creepy. She's really upset about losing him, obviously. That was creepy. So the president had a really important tablet, and um, oh, I should. Geez, there's a lot to mention with this story. Okay, so Cal, the president, takes Xavier into his office one day, and he's like, "Can I trust you with some very, very important information?" And Xavier's like, "Okay, Sure, go for it. There's a tablet on it, or a tablet in like this box. We don't know what's on it, as far as I can remember, but now the tablet has gone missing. So is this the reason the president got killed? Maybe. But they're trying to recover it. Like it has like vital information. Okay, so Dr. Tarabi helped design the dome in the community sense of the war. They're talking about like the Greeks and how socialization was important to their community. So that's what architect of social well-being. That's what the title of this episode was about her. So they're talking about how Cal died because of blunt force trauma. So something that we should take note of was Sinatra, one of the billionaires in charge of, actually, hold up, pause, one of, like, again, the big head honcho over this whole project, this whole Dome Paradise project. Um, Sinatra was the mother of the deceased son, and she had a problem where she kept, like, ripping out her hair, and so she always wore hats, and that's why she's called Sinatra. Okay, so she went through some real trauma, and it affected her in a very significant way. And then I believe the daughter is still around, but they haven't mentioned her for a minute. Timestamp 1850. Okay, they're trying to get fingerprints of who turned off the camera while President was killed. Uh-oh. So, back to Xavier and his dad. It seems like his dad has Parkinson's. He didn't tell him about it. Got some really great news, and then you get some really sad news like that. Sorry, Twitch went out on us. See if I could get it up and going again. There we go. All right. Oh, Xavier's telling his dad to retire, but his dad doesn't want to. Like, he's a pilot. That's his identity, you know. If he was to retire, then he's one of those people that seems like they have to be doing something to be fulfilled in their life, you know? And Elmo pro tip number 2, you don't have to do things to be fulfilled. You don't always have to be like doing different jobs or being validated by other people to be fulfilled. Like your worth is not defined by what you do or how many friends you have or you know what job, your hobbies, any of that. That's not what your worth is defined by. But his dad is one of those people that it's hard to retire because then what? That's what his whole life seems to be based upon. And if he has Parkinson's, that's going to stop him from doing that job, which he doesn't want to. And so Dr. Tarabi and Xavier are now like, well, what happened. You know, cause and effect. I forget what Tarabi's other name is, so we can actually just call her by her name. Oh, Xavier's upset because his family got, like, torn apart, essentially. He's finally able to be vulnerable with her. Timestamp 2410. Gabriella is her name. Gabriella. So that's who we'll refer to her as. Hopefully. So Gabriella and Samantha, aka Sinatra, were friends at one point. Uh-oh. Hold up. Let me back up for just a second. Two agents now were fraternizing. Brooks and I forget this other lady's name. They're kind of trying to keep it on the DL, it looks like. Oh, what's her name? I forgot. Brooks. Anyway, agents are together. No surprises there, really, right? So Henry is the name of the new president they've kind of put in place. They say that Cal, um, they're not saying that he was murdered, and so they just kind of put him into place, put Henry in place of Cal. But he's having problems. So, timestamp 2912. So, Gabriella and Xavier have gone to get cheese fries at a restaurant. And Gabrielle tells him, like, it's nut cheese. And he's like, ew, that sounds disgusting. She's like, it's really not. Just trust me. Okay. So they're sitting and they're waiting on their food. And so Xavier's like, he's really suspicious because that was his job as a bodyguard. He had to be aware of his surroundings at all times. Like, whoa, what's going on here? You know. And so Gabrielle is like, what are you, why do you always have to do that? And he's like, old habits die hard. You know. And they're looking at this lady at a table and she's eating and she's ambidextrous. And Elmo pro tip number 2. It's pretty cool. I can do it too. Certain things I do better with my right hand, certain things I do better with my left hand. And so Xavier's like, I would have considered this lady a threat because she can use either hand. And Gabrielle is like, it must be really hard for you to always be considering people a threat. Gabrielle is like, I just see a normal person. I just see a mother. Oh, okay. So Gabriella says that we've all lost something in like this transition into paradise. And Xavier's like, well, I lost my wife. And he's like, I knew exactly where she was when she died. She died because he couldn't get her into a plane fast enough. Now, who that is, we don't know yet. Xavier likes the fries. They're going on back and forth about what they miss. Xavier said crab. She said peaches. She said snow. He said sun, the real sun. Because they're basically under like controlled climate. She said she likes sand. So those were the things that brought them joy in their previous lives. Xavier's telling how his wife loved the ocean, but they didn't like the sand. Hmm. He's finally able to open up to someone. Hold on just a second, you guys. Okay. All right. Always. Oh. Timestamp 32:38. Xavier's talking to his dad. Father and son talking about Xavier's new job to protect the president. And how Xavier takes Xavier is taking his dad to see Air Force One because he loves planes so much, obviously, as a pilot. His dad seems really proud of him. dad was one of the few black captains of an airline. Tuskegee Airman, son of a Tuskegee Airman. So a lot of accolades for his dad. Uh-oh. But they're getting into an argument about his dad retiring again. He filed his dad's retirement papers without his permission. So that's probably why they didn't really speak after that. Like I said, his dad basically found validation in being a pilot. So it seems like Gabriella is able to trust Xavier a little more because he opened up like that. I mean, she thought she could trust him from the beginning, but that helps. Okay, we're back to Sinatra and Agent Robinson. And Brooks and the other lady came in. I still haven't figured out her name again. I forgot. Basically, Brooks' girlfriend is what we'll call her until I remember. Oh, so Brooks shut down the camera. But why? Oh, here we go. Okay, timestamp 38:48. So Billy, like I said, is really haphazard and he just does whatever he wants to do. So, because Billy and his girlfriend fraternizing, I think that's what's going on. Robinson is like questioning him. She's like, why'd you shut the camera down? And why did you do it on other times as well? Suspicious, right? Suspicious. Which I'm assuming is why he shut down the cameras, because he was doing stuff he wasn't supposed to do. Oh, Jane. Jane and Billy were messing around on the job. They were playing Wii tennis and they were getting into the president's stuff. So basically, they were supposed to be protecting the president. They were, being immature, playing video games while they were supposed to be on a job. And basically, they don't know who killed the president because of their immaturity. And they found their fingerprints on stuff, which is all they need. Okay, so switch scenes again. So we're back to Xavier and Gabriella. Yeah, Gabriella. And they're talking about the numbers that Xavier found on a little cigarette thing. So he's asking her, do the numbers 812092 mean anything to her? Timestamp 4021. 812092. Keep that in mind, just in case. So they were talking about why they were chosen to be in the dome. Oh. Oh. Okay. So Gabriella just explained um, that she was the one that chose the people to be in paradise. Oh. So he's like, I don't know why I'm here. Why am I in the dome? And she's like, I chose you. Okay. We're seeing how Cal selected Xavier to be his main bodyguard. And Gabriella basically handed him a folder. Say, check this dude out. She was responsible for everybody who lived. And technically those that died. These two are getting closer. Oh, ooh, I knew it. Okay, timestamp 44:31. So basically, Gabriella kissed Xavier. I knew it. They kept getting closer and closer and closer. Are we muted on Twitch? Oh man. Hold up. Are we muted on YouTube too? You mean I've been talking this whole entire time? I hope not. Oh, it doesn't look like YouTube has got anything going on with it. Is Twitch being weird? As usual. You know Twitch. Twitch and I don't get along. Let me know if it gets all funky. But Twitch has been acting bad this whole entire time. Xavier's like, I'm married, but that didn't really stop them. We'll kind of leave it there. Oh, or was she checking him for bugs? Oh, okay. Okay, so Gabriella just told Xavier got a message from the president. She said if something happened to him, if something happened to the president, he should go find Xavier. Billy Pace is dangerous. Billy is dangerous? But he's supposed to be Xavier's friend. But but he's got a gun. He's outside somebody's house. Looking kind of creepy. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So we have reached the end of that episode. If you guys were watching along, what do you think about it? I feel like it gave us a lot of backstory. I feel like it filled in a few holes that we were kind of wondering about. But yet, it still kept things on the mystery side. We still don't know who got Cal. We still don't know why, but we figured out why the camera went down. Basically, it was Billy and Jane. Billy and Jane. That's really weird for them to put those two names together. But Billy and Jane were basically just, they weren't on their post, and because they kept shutting down the cameras and just playing Wii tennis. Who plays Wii tennis anymore other than when you're really, 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 really bored? That kind of gives you the time frame. Wii tennis was popular, but now we're in like PS5. Jeez. So anyway, Billy and Jane were playing video games when they were supposed to be protecting the president. Billy also fell asleep on the couch, and so he's not doing his job. And then we see at the end here that he's got a gun and he's outside somebody's house looking kind of scary. So can we really trust Billy? Does he really have Xavier's interest at heart? We don't know. We don't know. Okay. So far, Gabriella seems like she's Xavier's biggest ally. You know, she brought him to paradise. She helped him get his position as bodyguard of the president. She said, you know, if something happened to the president, come find me, you know. She gave him cheese fries. So just things like that. She'll probably be a main character here shortly, I'm assuming. So Robinson, the agent, she, I don't know. I can't get a good vibe from her. 1 minute she's, you know, kind of on the good side, kind of on the bad side. She's kind of a neutral character. Sinatra, she's kind of in the middle here too. So I would rate this episode, I would rate it a 9. It did good filling in things. It did good giving a little bit of history. It gave a little bit of info about what Paradise was about. So yeah, I enjoyed that episode quite a bit. It was good. And of course they had to give a love interest. So the lovey-dovey aspect there. All right. So, what we're gonna do for a second is we're gonna take a timeout. Give me about let's take a 2-minute break just to stand and stretch and refresh next. And then we'll be back here shortly. But I mean, it's another hour for our next episode. Okay, so I'm gonna put you guys on our starting soon for about 2 minutes. All right, so hold tight with me, and then we'll get back to episode 4. All right, everybody, we are back. So, Select, we got Select Screen in the house. He says, "Yo, is this show any good?" And he says, "Bruh, um, bro, I would say that it started off pretty strong. Um, it kind of depends on, mm, it depends on how patient you'll be, though." Because it's one of those shows where it's slowly putting picture like pieces into the main picture. You know, like you're trying to figure out what the main goal is here, and it's feeding you little tidbits a little bit at a time. And so um it's a patience thing. And there's now 2 seasons of this. So eventually, I think we're going to figure out who killed the president, and then they're going to work from there. Okay. Um. But yeah, the word I would use for this one is you got to be patient. And not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm glad that they didn't just come outright and say, "Oh, this is where the murder came from," and because that would have taken away kind of the illusion of this whole series. So we'll see. I'm sure they're gonna kind of throw it in as one of the little plot twists where everybody's like, they're gonna make a deal out of it. I would assume. But the thing is that they keep having Cal consistently be in the show anyway. So he's technically hasn't really been dead. As much as they've included him in there, he hasn't really been dead. So, all right. So this is season 1, episode 4. Is called Agent Billy Pace. Agent Billy Pace. Try saying that 10 times fast, right? Agent Billy Pace. And so Billy is supposed to be Xavier's kind of partner, like he's like on the case with him. And so can Xavier really trust him? Who knows? Billy is looking a little bit suspicious right now, and he looks a little bit dangerous because of the fact that he just does his own thing. All right. So, I hope everybody got refueled on that, and here we go. Here we go. Okay. So whose house is he outside of right now? Billy. I can't really tell. So it looks like Billy's dad is taking him out to go hunting, deer hunting. He's got a sniper rifle. Uh-oh, but something scared the deer. Ooh, what he got? His dad hit him across the... Oh, it's his uncle. His uncle hit him in the face. His uncle told him to never hesitate. So what happened to Billy's parents And is that going to be an important part of his life? I'm assuming so. His uncle kind of threw him out of his cabin. I think because he was protecting his dog. His dog seems like he's a little older. Billy was trying to feed his dog. Oh no. Uh oh. Ooh. Okay, so timestamp 321. So, just to really get a clear perspective on this, Billy was in a cabin with his uncle, and it seemed like they were trying to basically survive. And there was a dog with him, German Shepherd. Okay, and German Shepherd looks a little older. He kind of slow when they went on their little hunting trip. So Billy was trying to feed the dog some food, and is like, basically his uncle's like, you don't keep anything that has a defect in it, and you don't hesitate. So he gave Billy a gun, basically to put the dog down, and Billy turned on his uncle and shot him. So he went to a juvenile detention center, I guess. Ooh, ooh, he's fighting. Ooh boy, and he is a scary fighter because he actually can fight. He's fighting other kids in the yard. Jeez, and he's smaller than other people. I thought he was gonna get hurt. No way, he knows how to defend himself. So now he's still like in prison. It's kind of like almost. Oh wait, no, he's getting let out. Sorry, he's getting let out as like a teenager. And I'm like, he's getting offered a job. By a guy named Jack. Okay, so whoa, whoa, okay, whoa, this has gotten crazy already. Okay, so Jack, he's basically telling the people that he recruited that this was their second chance, to make things right. Basically, you travel the world, and it seems like they're kind of like they're fighters. And so he's like, um, Jack. Jack is like, this is my um, associate, basically. And they're like, who wants to fight him? And so Billy stepped up, and he's like beating him. Ugh, ooh, boy, he is. He is dangerous. Like, he seemed like he's all innocent and kind of absent-minded, but ooh, Billy is freaking me out here a little bit. Okay, so timestamp 7:46. So, basically, Billy was kind of having like throwback moments to when he was about to shoot another deer. And then you see Jane right beside him, like, what should I wear to the carnival? And then it flips over to Xavier and Gabriella. Same thing kind of happens. Oh, the carnival's today. And so Xavier's like, uh oh, my kids don't know where I'm at. And we have a system for when I work late. Work late. And probably when he works late because he's, bodyguard. And so so this carnival is kind of like honoring Cal, I guess, before they bury him. All right, the carnival. Xavier texting Billy. Xavier, like, Billy, we need to talk. Okay, so timestamp 9:22. So basically, Xavier and Presley and James, him and his kids are trying to get through an airport. Now, everybody has these little wristbands that they have to scan in order to get food, in order to do a whole bunch of other things. And so, airport security is like, you gotta get your wristbands out, and all unauthorized items should be put away. Of course. And so James is like, I want mom. Where's my mom? And we found out in prior episodes that she passed in another city, and I guess the kids don't know about it right now, or it hasn't happened yet, because these three were chosen, but it seems like wife Terry was not chosen to go into paradise, and so that's what I suspect is the reason why Cal and Xavier no longer get along, because he said he couldn't get her in a plane. I thought it was going to be Xavier's dad at first, but I think it's Cal. Okay, so my wife didn't make the plane. What does that mean? Oh, they just deleted they just deleted his wife out of the system. So who couldn't get her? Who couldn't get her on the plane? But they just treated her like she was nothing. Okay, so crazy enough, Xavier and Cal just made eye contact at the airport. Billy and Xavier just met up, first time. So it seems like Billy was in the Secret Service prior to Xavier. So Xavier got home and his kids are trying to get something to eat, some breakfast. Okay, so timestamp 12 minutes. So Jeremy Bradford was Cal's son, and he was the one that Presley, Xavier's daughter, was in the library with. And they're like Xavier was like, I thought we didn't like him, and so now Presley is just like, I'm gonna go watch his band set up. So obviously they kind of bonded when they went into the library and saw all those planes. And here's where Dad's suspicion comes in. Presley's mad. Like, we had a system. So Xavier is like saying, okay, kids, we'll meet up at the carnival. So, in the comments, when somebody says we need to talk, what does that mean? Does it mean we need to talk, or does it just mean we need to talk? Because he told Billy, we need to have a conversation, you know? Normally, what I've seen is like the situation is not good when somebody says we need to talk. But that could just be, random. Let me know what you guys think. Bill was explaining how he didn't really have a house, he didn't really have a home, but they gave him a home when he got into the cave. I have a feeling that Xavier isn't going to make it to the carnival because it feels like it's kind of like foreshadowing, Okay, I'll be back for the carnival. I'll be back for the carnival, but so far, I get the hunch they're emphasizing that too much. But we'll see. So timestamp 1536. So Cal is talking to Xavier and Billy, and I guess he's preparing a speech. And the thing about Xavier and Cal's relationship is that Xavier was always like, yes, sir, no, sir, and stuff like that until they really became friends. And then he started calling him Xavier and stuff like that. Um, but here, they're like, Cal's like, okay, Billy, scary Billy, yeah, you can talk freely. Do you think that this speech sounds right? Because Cal is really lackadaisical. He's like, woo, he's not your definition of politics, really. So we'll see what. So Billy seems like he's got to be kind of down to earth because look where he grew up. Look what happened. He had a really hard life starting out, and then he went into like the Secret Service, and so it's like, you know. Oh, Billy lied to Xavier. He's outside of his house, and it's like, I'm already at work. That wasn't right, Billy. Xavier saw him through the window. Sorry, I think Twitch is being kind of twitchy right now. Let's see if I can fix it. All right, so we got Presley talking to um, the president's son about how playing in a band and bringing joy to people is really important. Okay, so now we have Xavier digging through files. Looks like there's some redacted information. Okay, hold up. There's stuff I gotta read here. Let me see. It says he lost 2 field agents, ignored his plan of action. Agent Pace, something asset inside paradise. Okay, the indictment alleges that 2 juvenile something distributing drugs. When the juvenile something police, he allegedly possessed more cocaine and over 2.5 ounces of meth something. Also seized a 9mm gun and 16 rounds of something. Juvenile allegedly illegally possessed something. Previously had been convicted of other. So Jane walked in the room while Xavier was reading information. Don't lie, Jane. Alright, so Jane is probably going to go back to Billy, I'm guessing, and tell him that Xavier was looking at something. Because that's her boo, if you will. So Xavier and Billy are reminiscing at a bar. Kind of throwback. And they're actually friends. Billy's saying that being down in the dome just makes him feel normal because the life that he had prior to that, it it had been hurting him. Like he didn't know what it was like to have a friend. He didn't know what it was like just to, sit and talk with somebody. So he likes being down in a dome better than being in the old world, is what he's calling it. Xavier's the opposite. It seems like he was really happy in the old world, but now he's kind of sad here. And Billy wasn't happy in the old world, but now he's happy here. So Billy's meeting Presley and James, and he's like, "I'm your dad's best friend." Call me Uncle Billy. Okay, we're back to the carnival. But before that, Robinson was looking at Xavier, looking through the files. Um, Timestamp 2414. Hey, what's up, Clue? Yeah. This is Paradise, and I know you don't like it. I know you don't like it, but. It sounds like it could be, right? Is that another show we should be watching? And then we'll throw in Scandal. We'll just throw in all like the. So we got Paradise, we got Scandal, we got Oval. Those all seem to deal with the president. Who was insulted by the fact that we are watching Paradise. Fell asleep on this 3 times, apparently, right? Who says? Clue says the oval leads on to Ruthless, and neither of those makes sense. And then we got Afternoon Tune. Hey, what's up? What's up? We're doing great. We're doing great. Just hanging out, watching some Paradise. Neither of those makes sense. Okay. Oh, look. Xavier showed up to the carnival, and Xavier sees Billy and Jane. Oh, Sinatra, Robinson, they are all there. I started to like Scandal, but it got kind of confusing towards the end of it too, so I have to go back and watch that in free time. It's pretty good, but you got to keep up with that one, really, in my opinion. Uh oh. Presley likes Jeremy, the president's son. After she said she didn't. All right. Paul, timestamp 2803. So I was saying a little bit earlier that you really gotta use patience with Paradise, and I probably said it even before, but you just gotta fill in the little puzzle pieces in order to make the big picture really come into view. Uh, that's basically what it's been for me. Like I find the little tidbits interesting. It's just you gotta get to those tidbits. Jack Ryan, I never personally watched Jack Ryan, so I can't respond on that. But yeah, so aw, so Billy's explaining to Presley that he likes Jane because he can be vulnerable with her. He never played games like that with another person. Are we gonna go see Michael? Yeah, man. Yeah, we got our tickets yesterday. Pre-ordered Michael tickets for sure, for sure. And I guarantee you that Select Screen's gonna want to give you guys feedback on it. But yeah, and if you guys have T-Mobile, then you could get like at least here, at least in our area, you could get $5 off of Michael tickets. But yeah, definitely gonna go. Definitely super like super excited about that. And I don't really go to theaters much anymore, so that says something personally. Like I usually wait till things, come out on streaming services, but we got to support Michael. My favorite MJ album. Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with Thriller. Like it is iconic, iconic. And I also like Off the Wall, but I think Thriller is the Thriller in Manila. What you got? And what you got, Clue? Oh, okay. Something important to note here, timestamp 29, is Uncle Billy just told Presley that if, she likes Jeremy, then just go tell him. He used different kind of words than that, but yeah. He's just like basically go shoot your shot and never hesitate. I knew that phrase would be important. That's what Billy's uncle told him, and so he's just like, just go do it. Elmo pro tip number 4, and this is coming from a woman perspective, but dudes, Just please, dudes, be men. Step up to that plate, please. Please, men, be men. And just. I'm going to get into a deep dive with this, but I'm just going to say men, be men. And, like, the old fashioned, gentlemanly kind of men that genuinely care about your women. Don't just. Oh, I could get into a deep dive. But men be men. Be gentle to your women and provide a safe space for them. That's the way you're going to win somebody's heart. I'm going to leave it there. Just saying. Because us as women, we are reciprocators. We do things a lot of times in response to what men do. And so if men are not men and they're jerks, aka what what Billy just called Jeremy, then that's not how it's gonna work. That's not how you're gonna win. Alright? Just saying. From a woman perspective. Be that safe space, be that gentleman like back in the day. Because I tell you, what we got now just makes me just like. Anyway. So, Xavier just ran into Gabrielle at the carnival. James is watching the exchange. James is very suspicious. You can tell by the look on his face. He knows. He knows what's going on between the two of them. He knows. Xavier, do not back out on her. Yep, she's like, let me just stop you right there. So Gabrielle is encouraging Xavier to go talk to Billy. It doesn't seem like it's normal for your best friend to ignore you like Billy is doing to Xavier. So it's out of character for him. He called him his best friend only a while ago. So once again, somebody that you consider your best friend, you don't just dip out on him like that. At least that's what I say. What, Elmo pro tip number 5? Realize that there are people out there in the world that really genuinely care about who you are as a person. Those are the people that you keep around in your circle. Circle doesn't have to be very big. It could be really teeny tiny, but keep those people close. Because not everybody out there in the world is a good person sometimes. So, once again, I'm just saying. I don't want this to become a deep dive because of this episode. But anyway, you say somebody's your best friend, probably there for a reason. Timestamp 32:44. It's showing Cal, Xavier, and Billy at the bar that they always meet up, and like they're talking about how things outside of the dome are going very, very poorly. Okay. And how they'd be desperate and starving, and it's not good. And so I'm assuming Xavier is referring to his wife. He wants to make sure that his wife is okay, but obviously she didn't make it. And Cal, he's doing this like presentation now, saying that things aren't going great up there. But they're sending out basically explorers to see what the upper world is going to be like. Hold on. So I don't get you guys all confused. Okay, so Xavier, Cal, and Billy were at the bar talking about if life could be sustained outside of paradise. And I always do the little air quotes because to me this doesn't really truly seem like paradise. But paradise, okay? And Kyle's saying it doesn't really look like there's a lot of hope there. And, obviously Xavier, he has his wife Terry on his mind because she didn't make it on the plane in order to be in paradise with her husband and kids. They just deleted her from the database and that was it. Okay, like she was nothing. So now Cal got up on stage like he's doing, like a public service announcement, and he's saying we're going to send 4 explorers up there to see if there's any chance of life on what used to be the old Earth. And I'm assuming, just my prediction, this isn't going to go well. So timestamp 3354. Here we go. Xavier's looking at a mural of those explorers. Xavier and Billy are talking at the carnival. Oh, Xavier asked Billy if he killed Cal. And Billy obviously is offended. Oh, he really cares about Xavier's kid. Oh. That's sad, Again, keep the people in your circle really close, We don't know if Billy is, truly a good person, but geez. Seems like Xavier and the kids were kind of all he had for a while there, Uh-oh, Xavier's back in daddy mode. Watching Presley and Jeremy talk. Can we just talk about it? If you could tell me what song that is, you win the day. Okay, timestamp 37:51. So the bartender where the three guys were at, his wife, you know, his wife was able to get into the dome with him. He was a bartender. She was like a really important person. Um, to being in the, I don't know what her position was in there, why she was picked. But anyways, bartender told his wife, "Don't go do that explorative mission. Stay here. Be safe. Don't go do that." And so now all that's left is just a picture of her in homage at the bar. He's like, "I should have stopped her. I shouldn't have let her go. I should have had somebody else like take her place." And he was regretting it. Like his wife is gone. It's a hard pill to swallow, right? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Plot twist. Okay, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Wah, wah, wah. Timestamp 38:37. So it looks like Billy is up above ground. Now, mind you, there are four of those explorers, the bartender's wife being one of them. And she's like, "Wait, there, life, there can be life." And then he just hauls off and takes her out. What? He was responsible for her dying? But why did he kill her? If life is supposedly sustainable outside of paradise, why did he kill her? Hmm, imagine that kind of grief. Imagine that kind of, like, pressure. And he probably didn't look the bartender in the eye and tell him, "Oh, hey, I took her out." No, he's not going to tell him that. Oh, okay. All right, so, all right. Billy just went to, Billy just went to Sinatra, and he's like, I was trying to start over again. I wanted to make something out of myself, but I'd done everything that you told me to do. And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, you did. You did everything I told you." And so I guess he had to go up outside of the dome to kill those explorers. So it wasn't that he, did it on like did it because he wanted to. He did it because he was manipulated into doing that. To keep people scared, to keep people in the dome, which is what Sinatra was. Oh, there she goes, like scratching her hair again. And Sinatra's saying that conditions outside of the dome are unlivable. That people's only chance of survival is in the cave, in the dome, in paradise. She's saying that she's doing it to protect people. And that's why she had Billy take out the bartender's wife. Billy was just a guinea pig to kill people. Oh. So Sinatra's like, "Did I tell you what happened to my son?" And Billy's like, "I don't care what happened to your son, but you're going to leave Xavier alone, or there's going to be problems." And she's challenging him on that. She doesn't like that, obviously. That's not going to bode well for Billy. She's going to be pissed off. Assuming. Oh, hold up, Twitch. I'm sorry. Twitch decided to be really weird. Let me refresh for you guys. Sorry. Gotta refresh for a minute. There we go. There we go. Okay, I think we got it. Mm. Jeez, she is putting him down. Dang, she was bringing up his past. He's like, "You're a convicted murderer. You're a felon. You're this and that and the other." And she's like, "You're gonna follow. You're gonna follow my orders. Otherwise, bad things are gonna happen to you." I'll take her away, Billy. I'm assuming that's in reference to G. Said Xavier and the kids are his family. Mhm. Okay, timestamp 4601. So basically, Billy comes out and he joins Xavier, James, and Presley, and they're talking about how they can't always be sad, how they kind of have to move on and make a better lives, make a better life for themselves. And so Billy hands Xavier a sparkler, and he's like, "You have to believe that I didn't kill the president." And Xavier's like, "I know I do." Like, he just went to Sinatra, one of the biggest billionaires and one of the creators of the dome, on Xavier's behalf. So you could probably believe him. Um, but Billy's like, there's some things you should know about me, you know, because they didn't really talk about their history. Billy's warning Xavier about Sinatra. Dang, Twitch, come on. That's his family, you know. That's all he's got. Oh, did the advice? He gave Presley good advice about the president's son, Jeremy. Hmm. Uh oh. Uh oh. Oh. Oh man. Okay, hold up. Let's finish this episode before I say anything. Oh, oh man. Okay, so that's the end of the episode. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, so rewind just a little bit. Okay, so Sinatra, um, okay, basically creator of the dome, um, and Billy got into the argument. Billy was just trying to save Xavier, Presley, and James from being hurt. That's his only family. That's who he knows, and that's it. Bottom line. Hold on, just 1 second, you guys. Sorry, we had a had a quick key throw. Okay, so basically Sinatra's like, you don't step on my toes. I'm the head honcho around here. I can make things happen. And Billy's like, well, I'm a big bad wolf. I've done things that nobody else can do. So if you want, to do something to me, then you're gonna have to send the very best person to take me out. Well, so Billy was hanging out with the family for a minute, and then he goes home to Jane, and Jane is supposed to be his love interest, supposed to be the one that he cares about, and, the first one that he kind of opened up to. And she gives him alcohol, and he like flops on the floor, and she puts out pills, like basically that he overdosed. And so we're slowly watching like the life drain out of Billy. And she's like, you told Sinatra to send the best person that she had to take you out. And she's like, well, I'm that person. So all this time she was like manipulating him. All this time she was getting close to him. All this time she was like Sinatra's little puppet and was intended to hurt Billy. So that's really sad. Sad that he had to go out that way. He was trying to be the good guy. He didn't do anything, wrong. He didn't kill the president, and he was trying to be a good friend and uncle, and look where that landed him. You know, sad day. Sad day. I hope maybe they can bring him back for episode 5. I don't know. We kind of gotta leave you guys on a cliffhanger with that one for now. But let's see. We've been on the stream for about 2.5 hours, approximately, give or take a little bit. So I think that's gonna do it for part 1 of our Paradise and Daredevil watch party. So later on, like about 8ish, I'm gonna get back on so we can watch Daredevil. We're getting a little bit behind on a couple episodes, so I gotta catch up. Um, so yeah, that's what this double feature is about. We watch Paradise, we watch Daredevil, get all caught up, and keep on moving. So for season 1 of Paradise, we have 4 more episodes to go, and then we'll move into season 2. Um, and yeah, we'll just keep going right along that way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first part of our watch party. Stay tuned a little later for our second. But in the meantime, visit our link tree, linktr.ee/select screen with the fives. Check out our latest YouTube video, our live reaction to Street Fighter and Doomsday by Select Screen. Our Cash App is right there, right there for your scanning. And yeah, so comment what you guys did you like that episode of Paradise? Were you somewhere in the middle? Did you hate it? What are your thoughts on it? What is Paradise in general? So we'll see. All right, so that about wraps it up for me right now. I will check y'all later. Remember to be kind to one another, take care of each other. Don't forget to choose your destiny. And for now, we out.